Men Metal Mayhem, the podcast where the Brothers Men take a deep dive into the discographies of our favorite metal bands. I'm your host, Brother Paul, joined as ever by my two brothers and co-hosts, Brother John
It's great to see you again, Brother Paul and Brother Dave.
and Brother Dave.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
After finishing up our season on Nevermore last week, we are now on to season 2.5, Solos and Side Projects. And today we are talking Warrel Dane's 2008 solo album, Praises to the War Machine. Join us, because nothing ever changes when we pray. This album was released April 25th, 2008. Brother John, give us a snapshot of the top 40 that week. Let us know what you were up to in 2008 and hit us with your album highlight.
With pleasure, Brother Paul. So, that week in music history, the top number one track was Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. I had never heard that in my life. I did listen to it to find out if I just maybe didn't recognize it, the name, but would, recognize it when I hear it. I'm certain I've never heard that song. And you know what? I have no recollection of what it sounded like. My note from after I listened to it, in my opinion, this one is pretty forgettable. And lo and behold, I have already forgotten whatever it sounded like. Number two, Lollipop by Lil Wayne featuring Static Major. Also had never heard that one, but I will say it has a lot of interesting lyrics in it. For example, one of the lines is, "Shawty wanna lick, 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 lick me like a lollipop." So, check it out. Number 10 was Low by Flo Rida featuring T-Pain, obviously an eternal classic. And number 12, a little ditty called See You Again, which is why I said that I was happy to see you boys again. This one is by Miley, and it was like her first single, but I had never even heard it till a couple of years ago and didn't know that it was a really old song. But it's a bop, so check that one out if you're not familiar. Man, 2008, what was I doing? So I was a young pup of 25 years old, finishing up my second year of law school in Madison. And I was trying to think back, like, what was I doing? And I didn't have a ton of real specific memories from back then, probably due to the excessive drinking that was going on at that point in my life. But I do remember that one of the things I did for school, there was the Student Hurricane Network. And I think it must have been formed like a few years prior, like in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, because every year they would send a group to do just like legal aid stuff down in New Orleans. So we went down there, and at that point in my life, could probably count on one hand the number of strip clubs that I had been to, or the number of times I'd been to a strip club. Wasn't like a thing that I did that often, but we went to one down there, and the dancers there were crazy good, like as far as pole tricks. Like there was this one lady who was just insane. She was on the ground, and I want to say the pole was probably like 15 or 20 feet. It's like a really tall pole. And like 1 second she was on the ground, and then like 2 seconds later she had like flipped upside down and flipped upside down again, and she was hanging from the rafters like by her arm or maybe by her leg. I was like, oh my God, she's like a spider monkey. It was crazy. So, that gave me a whole new appreciation for pole dancing. Because I think any of the other times I had been in Wisconsin, nobody was doing cool tricks and it was not very impressive. But, when they do the cool dancing, now that's impressive. So that is what I remember from 2008. Feats of physical prowess from the pole dancers. And so that was pretty awesome. As far as my album pick, we have the second album by the Swiss folk metal band Eluveitie, the album Slania. And this was the first one that they had released on a major label, which was Nuclear Blast, and it gained them a decent amount of recognition. And this was the first one that I had heard from them. And this album pretty much pummels pretty hard and is awesome. It's got like a mix of Celtic sounds, traditional instruments like you would expect from a folk metal band, but also some pretty heavy melodic death metal sounds in there too. Overall, great album. I would recommend everyone should check it out. Or if you're just looking for one song, check out Innis Mona, which gives a good taste of what that album is all about. And that song goes pretty hard. So, yeah, check it out, everybody. Brother Dave, what were you doing in '08?
Yeah, what was I doing in 2008? I feel like that was a bit of a low point for me. I'd graduated in 2006 and spent those next couple of years coming to grips with the fact that everything I'd been told about a degree opening up job opportunities was just not true in the post-internet era. And so like I worked at a diecast factory, I worked at Beaner's Coffee, I worked at Babies R Us and Mid States Express. That was a local trucking company that went under a couple of months after I left in 2009. None of those jobs that I could find used my degree at all, and wasn't really any room for advancement. Like at best, I got shift lead at Beaners, but there's nowhere else to go from there, and it was still like shitty pay and shitty hours. So I was second guessing all of my life decisions that year, and it sucked. And I'm glad it's done.
Yeah.
Great album came out this year, though, was Cynic Paradise by Pain. This is
Boom.
the industrial metal band of Peter Tegrin, also known for Hypocrisy. And I mean, they've got a ton of good albums, but I think this one stands out to me maybe as their best, but or maybe it's just kind of nostalgia. This is one of the ones I've had the longest. And it's just solid and catchy throughout. And I don't think there's a weak song on it. It's also got a cover of Electric Light Orchestra's Here Is the News, which is surprisingly faithful to the original while turning it into industrial metal from the like synthy early 80s, whatever it is to begin with. And it like completely outshines the original. Obviously, I like metal, so maybe there's some bias in there, but I really like it when a cover is so good that you're like, why would I ever listen to the original again? And you can consider that a little foreshadowing for the album we are discussing today. But for now, Cynic Paradise, check it out.
Two wonderful choices from you boys. Let's see. In 2008, I did my fall semester in Hungary. And I talked last season about I went and I saw Soil Work when I was there. Also saw Eluveitie, who were awesome. Maybe I'll talk about that next week. Uh, but one of the first things I did when I got to Hungary that fall is I looked up concert venues and just kind of saw what bands were there because I'm like, well, I'm in Europe. I gotta go see shows for bands that will never come to America, um, or where I live in America. And I saw that the band Made Out of Babies was playing, and I knew nothing about them. This was like my first week in Hungary. I knew absolutely nothing about them other than the venue had tagged them as a metal band. So I took my two friends who are not into metal, and we got treated to just this discordant noise rock crushing post metal show. Um, the thing I remember most was we accidentally ended up sitting in the backstage area right next to the band because the show was it was on the 838. it's like a river barge, and we were on the top deck, which is like the smallest venue. And, we walk up the stairs, and there's like a folding table with the person that was their ticket booth. We get some drinks, and we're looking for a spot to sit, and we see some chairs and tables behind, this folding table where the ticket agent is. So we just kind of like slide past and sit down on these chairs. And there's some people there, and they're smoking and drinking, and they're talking American. And they kind of give us the side eye, but we're like, fucking whatever. Let's wait, 20 minutes till the band starts. Then we get up and we go and stand out and wait for the show. And lo and behold, the people we were just next to come out and start playing some noise rock. And it was pretty good. I was like, oh shit, we were in the backstage area.
You stole their chairs.
Yeah, it was fine. So my album pick, I am going to keep in with the post-metal like I did last week and highlight Cult of Luna's Eternal Kingdom. For the longest time, Cult of Luna was my favorite band. And re-listening to this, I remembered why. On this one, they really embraced just like this crushing post-metal sound, whereas their previous one, which is maybe my favorite, is a little more spacey and ambient and drifting, but this one is just wall of sound building. It's a huge album, and every track is amazing. Highly recommend this one. And with that, let's turn to the year in metal. And in 2008, Testament came out with their album, The Formation of Damnation. And this is a really good album, just good thrash metal. Having listened to a number of Testament albums for this section over the course of the season, I'm absolutely on board with Testament. They're a good, solid band.
I don't think I've ever really given them a fair shake.
Neither had I, which is why I love doing this section. So they're good. I'd say check them out. The Formation of Damnation's a really good one. So I'd start there. Couple of disbandments I want to mention this week. We have Celtic Frost breaking up, and then Tom Warrior forms his band Triptychon the same year. The Agony Scene, who Brother John hates, they broke up.
Paul, I maybe gave you shit for going to see them once, but then I subsequently did learn the error of my ways.
Came crawling back.
Yeah. And speaking of covers, which we did shortly before, they have a pretty sweet cover of Paint It Black.
Yes, they do.
So why bother ever listening to the original again once you've heard that one?
And then our friends in Still Remains broke up that year, but they eventually reform. And when this episode drops, I will have just seen them play. And I think they're doing, it's the 20th anniversary of Love and Lunacy. So I think they're playing that hopefully in its entirety. Well, let's move on to this album itself and who played on it. Warrel Dane is, of course, front and center, but it was co-written with Peter Witchers, who at this time was still on a break from soil work. And in addition to co-writing, Witchers produced this album and played guitar on 8 of the tracks. And the other musicians of note, Matt Wickland of the Seattle metalcore band Himza provided bass and plays guitar on, I believe, 5 of the tracks, including the bonus one. And of course, our good friend Dirk Verbeuren plays the drums. It's a nice reunion for him and Peter. We have appearances by Jeff Loomis and James Murphy, who had been featured on Nevermore's album, This Godless Endeavor. This was released via Century Media. It is 12 standard tracks, 1 bonus, 50 minutes long, and it kicks off with track number 1, When We Pray. Brother Dave.
Immediately kicks off just sounding big, full, powerful. It's punchy and driving with great tone. This song, it's so good. I mean, it's content, lyrical content that I adore. You know, the people in power are full of shit, and religion is also bullshit, and it's all kind of rolled into one. So you gotta love that. Great verses, great chorus, and really good solo over a double trisio rhythm pattern. So I mean, it's got everything that I love here. Oh, also 305, big pick scrape back into the final chorus. So what's not to love?
Yeah, that's true. Nothing's not to love. From beginning to end, this one is great. Has a perfect little drum hit opening, just sort of a tiny roll down the toms right into that cool chugging riff to kick it off. And like you said, the themes, basically classic Nevermore themes, but really, I guess it's Warrel Dane just going back to the well that he knows and loves so well. Talking about how the world is shit. But and
Yeah.
my note here, and so I probably made this note. Well, this is the first song, right? So I was listening to it and I kind of was like trying to remember the album. And when the solo kicked in, I was like, yeah, this is like the best solo on the album. Which might be true, but then as I continued to listen, I was like, man, there's a lot of really cool solos on this whole album that didn't really stick in my mind as much, but there is a lot of good stuff to love. But this one for sure, it just kind of shreds in a great way. And I was kind of thinking too, so Witcher's produced the Obsidian Conspiracy, and we had talked about how he was telling him to like kind of pare back the crazy guitar fiddling, make it a little more, shorter songs, don't just go crazy. And he basically has done that on this album too. He has some really cool solos, but they're all probably in like that 30-second range, like not just going on and on. And they don't really steal the show, I wouldn't say, but they all do sound pretty good. So, he's true to his word. The way he writes songs is the way he produces them, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
But basically, this one, mid-tempo banger. I love it. It's not too fast, but it hits hard.
Yeah, no, this straight out of the gate, it's really groovy also. I mean, it's the word I
Mhm.
would use. Yeah, the chorus just soars on this one. And we get some really good vocal lines. The one specifically that stands out was if your finger was above the trigger, would it itch? God, it's great.
Yep.
They really set the bar high with this one. Like it's a
Mhm.
perfect intro track to this album. So let's move on to track number two, Messenger, featuring Jeff Loomis. And this opening riff, it's very Witcher's, very soil work. And then the verses are very kind of minimal, and they come into this very full chorus. So there's, I think, some great play right there. And then we get a great Loomis solo, and
Mhm.
the post-chorus bridge at 2:30 is really great. It's like remembering the days. God, I'm blanking on the lines.
We
Remembering the
felt we were
days.
chosen.
Yeah, those
Oh
were the
man, that part is
days.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
great.
Remembering days we felt we were chosen. Those were the days.
And then there's a really fun, good musical flourish at the 305 coming out of that bridge where Witcher's is his guitar's really muted and Verbeuren doing a really nice fill. So overall, really fun, good song, Brother Dave.
Completely agree with that assessment. This song's a bop for sure. I really, I think the post solo bit that
Hmm.
you called out is probably the highlight of this song. But we also do get some classic Dane kind of throughout where he's putting a little extra mustard on specific words like at the beginning, I'm the one you call the liar. And he's the lamb who slayed the lion. And just, I love Warrel Dane's vocal delivery so much. And he's not in the big power metal screams mode on this album, but he's still just got such a big, rich voice that he puts so much expression and emotion into. And I'm here for it. And it is good to see, to just hear a little more Loomis, because I love that guy too. So I'll always take a Loomis solo. Great song overall. Brother John?
Yeah, I have very little to add to what you boys have said. I won't say nothing because I mean, you kind of talked about the drums, but this song, I just feel like it has a really good groove to it, and the drums are doing a lot of cool, like quick kick drum beats, like I don't know, not just like steady kick drums like blast beats, but kind of throwing a funky groove and just like three or four quick kick hits uh in the beat that he's doing. So it's just a fun and sort of interesting sounding one. And I always love to hear Dirk Verbeuren play, but I guess of anything that I've heard him on, he's probably like the most kind of pulled back, I guess I would say, on this album because he's not doing anything really that flashy, which he certainly has the ability to zazz everybody's pants off, but the drums just fit really well with everything that he's doing
Mhm.
without kind of stealing the show, which they kind of have a tendency to do on some of the Soilwork stuff that he was on at various times. But, very proficient is what I would say for
I'm
everything that he's done on this album.
I'm glad you brought that up because yes, he plays on this album, but you wouldn't necessarily know it's him because it's as if they fed him like horse tranquilizers to slow him down.
I don't think there's any blast beats at all, unless maybe just like a real quick, sort of quiet one, maybe on the very last song.
He
But
hints at it
yeah,
once, I think. You get a whiff of blast beats one time, and that was, finally towards the end when the whatever cocktail Peter Witchers was feeding him started to wear off. But he is subdued, but his drumming does really fit and work on this album.
Mhm.
So
And he does still do his classic Dirk Verbeuren-ness of like working in some complicated stuff
yes,
subtly still.
yes. Well, let us move on to track number three, Obey, Brother John.
all right. Well, this one again has some pretty memorable lines. Uh, oh man, I only wrote down the murder is the ultimate rush part, which is the most, it kind of stands out. But what does he say? When bullets are,
Are
oh
legal
shoot,
drugs.
It's
are
when bullets are a legal drug. Murder
murder
is
is the ultimate
ultimate
rush.
rush.
Bullets are a legal drug. Murder is the ultimate rush. Society will punish you if it's wrong to execute.
Yeah. And then when will the powerful learn to understand that when we slit our wrists, the same blood falls into the sand? I mean, just another sort of memorable, cool line that he has. Um, the solo on this one starts around 203 and it has sort of an echoey, vibey effect on it. I certainly wouldn't want them to do that on all the solos, but I thought it was a cool effect to use here and just kind of mixed it up a little bit. Sounds a little different. Overall, let's see, the more memorable lyrics. Oh my God, what am I? I'm completely unable to read whatever I just wrote here. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. So this one is more memorable for the lyrics and the vocals than anything with the instrumentation. There wasn't a whole lot that stood out to me other than that guitar solo thing with the interesting effect. But, I guess that makes sense, on Warrel Dane's solo album to have it be focused on his vocals and the lyrics of the songs and stuff like that, and not being overshadowed by other instrumentation. So, it's another good song, just highlighting what he has to sing about and his voice.
Yeah,
It's true. And if I can build on what you said about it being like not particularly musically memorable, like the first minute 30 of this song is one riff. And it just has like different production on that riff for these different parts. This whole song is like three riffs in a trench coat. It's really it's really simple coming from Nevermore. And so yeah. And I think it was a bold move on the solo. The solo's super chill also, in addition to having that effect. Like it's not a ripper. They pull it back and it's like a clean solo, basically. But yeah, altogether, I feel like it leaves me not really remembering the music, just a couple of the vocal lines, like you said.
yeah. This one, lyrically, it's classic Warrel. Speaking truth to power and mentioning societal ills. Despite it being, kind of a vocal showcase for him, I don't love the chorus. It's only two lines, and I think that he needs a bit of a longer chorus to really shine.
Mhm.
That said, I like the bridge a lot. The when will the powerful learn to understand? And I do like the solo by Witchers. So yeah, this
Mhm.
is a bit of a mixed bag. But now we're on to track number 4, Lucretia, My Reflection, which is a cover of the Sisters of Mercy song. And as the resident goth expert, I'm going to kick this one off. I love the Sisters of Mercy a lot. I love this song in particular. And so a lot of bands have covered this song. And I actually used to have a playlist of all those cover versions because I know Creator has one, Dan Swaino has one, bunch of bands do this. But Warrel's version is the best. And it's because he has the voice to carry it. He's so powerful and he's got that rich voice. It really, really works. Now, musically, kind of much like the Nevermore cover of Bauhaus's Silent Hedges, this is a pretty faithful adaptation of the song, but it works so well. And at the end of the first verse at 103, we get a big slide into the chorus, and they are just
Mhm.
throwing in harmonics all over the place.
Of the city and dispossessed. Get down, get undressed, we get pretty. But you and we got the kingdom, we got the key, we got the...
They're having a lot of fun on this one.
And they're big, squealy pinch
Yeah,
harmonics.
so it's it's very faithful, but like they just amped it up and they made it so big. And I do want to open our mini segment Howls and Growls because at the 250 at the end of the bridge, and they repeat it at 350 when he's going, I don't feel anymore. And then you get that riff by Witchers.
I don't feel, I don't feel, I don't feel anymore. I hear the sons of
So good. I love this song. I love the original, but I love this version, Brother Dave.
I also love this this song. I've listened to the original because I like this song and I wanted to hear what it was working off of. And this song is just so much more superior to the original. Uh, the original's not bad, but it's kind of in my mind. Uh, what Warrel does to really zazz it up, he uses his low register for the verse vocals. And man, like normally he's kind of in that baritone range, but he's dropping it into like a bass range here, and
Mm-hmm.
it works so well. Uh, we get that big pick scrape that into the chorus that Brother Paul talked about, and then uh, I think what he's done with the chorus is really what makes this stand out so much compared to the original, is that he's changed the flow. He cuts out some parts where they kind of have dead air between vocal lines. So it just like keeps going and keeps driving, and it flows so well without those pauses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also like to call out our segment, Bring the Mosh. At 334. I mean, they've just got a real nice breakdown at that part, and I love it.
To see for real. Such things, they don't make sense.
And no solo in this song, no solo needed in this song. It's just that good. Brother John?
Well, I agree with everything you said. I, similar to you, I was like, oh, this makes me want to listen to the Sisters of Mercy. Then I listened to this song. I was like, oh man, I don't need to listen to the Sisters of Mercy. I've got Lucretia, My Reflection by Warrel Dane, and that's all that I'm gonna need. So I turned off the Sisters of Mercy. I went back to Praises to the War Machine and listened to that and loved my life. And there was nothing else to say. So,
You boys have never been big into goth,
No.
and that's fine.
yeah, not really.
Yeah. The closest I've gotten was some Typo Negative, but that's still metal.
Yeah,
That's goth metal.
absolutely. So, I could talk about this song for a while. I think for dropping in clips, I'll just drop in the whole song. It's
plan.
really, really good. Well, let's move on to track number 5, Let You Down, Brother Dave.
We are back to mid-tempo jams with this one. It's got kind of a picked, clean-ish picked main riff that continues through the intro and becomes the choruses and is also behind the solo. So it gives kind of some consistency throughout the song, that we're kind of continually coming back to this riff. Vocal harmonizations are nice throughout, and it kind of opens up into the solo, which is less of a solo and just kind of a beautiful, mournful riff. We get an acoustic breakdown at the end. I mean, it's a fine song. It's maybe not quite as hard as I would have liked, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's maybe just not what I was after. Brother John?
Yeah, I mean, my note is, I guess I don't even have a ton of notes about this one, just that it's another one that to me seems like it's all about Dane's vocals. And it's good. I mean, it's solid stuff, but musically doesn't really stand out to me, or instrumentation wise. But it's got that line, I love to let you down. I love to wear this foolish crown of suffering and empty dignity, for your deity has abandoned me. Or I probably got the timing wrong, but
Such is vanity.
oh yeah, or maybe I just didn't write down the very last little bit. But yeah, that part, I like that part.
Yeah, it's a good chorus.
Yeah, got a nice flow to it. But yeah, certainly another mid-tempo jam which a lot of the ones on this album are, but not in a bad way, in my opinion.
Hmm. Well, you boys both left out the most important thing about this song is that dramatic spoken words are back on the menu,
Oh,
baby. Starts with him just kind of quietly reciting something. Yeah, it's entering kind of almost ballad-ish territory, but it's still really good. The chorus is really good. I think Verbeuren is doing kind of more on this song than he has done previously. I think he's starting to do some more flair. So it's a good song. Is it great? Probably not, but it's a good one, you know. Brings us to the midway point, track number 6, August, Brother John.
all right. So this one starts with like about 24 seconds of spoken word stuff over a quiet guitar thing as sort of an intro. But then after that 24 seconds, it comes in hard, and this song basically kicks ass. Like they kind of fake you out at the beginning. You're like, where is this heading? But then it's like, all right, here we are. It's pretty fucking heavy. As far as like, I think we're just saying, a lot of mid-tempo songs, a lot of stuff that doesn't go super hard, but this one gets pretty heavy, and I love it. Um, at a minute 45, it gets into sort of an instrumental breakdown part where he's just dropping in a sort of tribal beat on the drums, and that part is rad. And then, like at 208, it has this down-tuned, chugging, brutal part. And the vocals at 208 it's the part where he says, "It was the spring when we met, our renewal, and all around us was madness and ruin."
It was the spring when we met, our renewal, and all around us was madness and ruin.
It's just like this dark poetry, and it just hits really hard. So this one, to me, one of the best bangers on the whole album, of which there are a few, but this one is way up there for me. Dave, you look like you're ready to say
Yeah.
something.
No, I'm ready to agree with you. This one is a banger. It just hits hard throughout. Um, those big heavy chugs that we get to at 210, so good. Uh, quiets down before going into like a big driving outro and then like a sudden stop at the end. It's all really good. I think the only the only thing that comes up maybe two-thirds of the way through this song, he says in August we a lot in this song. It gets kind of repetitive, right? Like everything starts in August we laid her down, in August we gave her to the ground, and he repeats it so much. I start getting a little tired of that phrase, but I mean, that's a minor gripe to such a great song. Brother Paul?
I had that same minor gripe, but I also wrote there's so much emotion in his voice that it kind of makes up for it. Yes, you remember that he says August a lot, but the way in which he's saying it's like, well, this means something to you. And I think we're starting to get into more kind of personal territory here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there are some nice heavy chugs on this one. And Brother John, I like that you used the phrase kind of dark poetry because so Peter Witchers produced this and I was kind of looking into, what he had to say about this whole process and when Warrel passed in 2017, he wrote a wonderful, kind of tribute. And he said, like, Warrel Dane, he's a fantastic singer, but he's an even better poet. So I don't know. I just like that you used the word poetry and that, that's coming out. And, Peter Witchers thought the exact same thing. So, um, yeah, this one, repetitive, but still good. It's not boring.
I'm just glad that the person he's writing about was buried in August instead of like January, because
Right.
in January we laid you down doesn't have that same sort of heavy sound to it. In
In May,
January.
we laid you down.
Or
Exactly.
imagine
I
if
mean,
it was if it was February, but he's one of those people that calls it February.
Oh, jeez.
the song we would be saying different things about this song if
Yeah.
any of that was the case.
Oh, well, track number 7, Your Chosen Misery, Brother Dave.
Your Chosen Misery. This one slaps. It is an acoustic ballad, so I mean, I feel like I complained a little bit about this album not being as hard as some stuff that I might prefer, but even as an acoustic ballad, I think this song slaps. Uh, it has a lot of that tomorrow turned into yesterday
Mm,
energy
yep.
to it. And I feel like, Paul, you've been calling out his use of rats. I feel like fool's crowns and something similar. I feel like that comes up every now and then as well. And it's on prominent display in this song.
A lot of
Uh,
crown talk.
a lot of crown talk.
A lot of jesters and fools.
And man, there's just so many good vocal lines in this song. You self-serving, arrogant sycophants. Uh, Yesterday was plagued with rain. At 2:20, we can feel it. It drops into that yesterday was plagued with rain section, and we know something big is coming. And then he resolves it with that great big hail yesterday at 2:45, which is so good.
So good.
Thursday was the day of sin. Friday, silent hell began. Hail yesterday.
I don't think we want to get into song meanings too much on this, but the comments there seem to say that this was about making the best of a bad situation. But to me, reading these lyrics, and this might just be me being bad at poetry, it kind of seemed like it was about drug abuse and living in the past. Uh, but I mean,
That's more what I got out of it.
Yeah. I didn't read those song meaning comments, but it's very clearly about somebody who just kind of retreats into themselves and or drug use. Take an injection of your chosen misery. My God,
yeah.
it's hard to be more clear.
It's like what Warrel was saying on the last album, though. Like, I thought it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
People, guess, aren't getting it. Um, but man, I love this song. Love it. Brother Paul?
Yeah, I mean, ballads are back on the menu. It's really good. And it does seem more personal. Like you wonder if this is about somebody specifically. It doesn't feel general, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's
This
a
whole album feels very personal. Like
and
these are specific things that from his life that he is singing about.
we will absolutely get into that on a couple of songs. But even the ones so far, it's like, yeah, he's really bearing his soul, and yeah, the flow of this song is really nice. The way in which he uses his words, it all flows
Mm-hmm.
so well together. And Hail Yesterday, God, he's such a good singer. Um, Brother John.
So ultimately, my opinion does come down pretty much where you guys are saying, because this one does slap. But for the first minute, I kind of thought it was a little bit skippable. But then it gets to it kind of picks it up. It's like the self-serving, arrogant sycophant part, and it sort of gets to the next part of the song. But then it goes back to a little bit of the snoozy, like sort of acoustic ballady part, and that's what was not really selling me. But just when I was ready to give up hope, that's when they hit us with the hail yesterday, and I was like, okay, this song fucking slaps. So they like it takes them a while to get there, but that when they get there, it's so good. So yeah, it's a little bit maybe slow and soft for me, but they completely redeem themselves.
You're just Pacino. Like every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
That's exactly it.
Oh, okay, track number 8, The Day the Rats Went to War. And let's just, one of his favorite words, rats, which he spits with such conviction on this one.
Mm-hmm.
More kind of stabbing the drama era Witcher's guitar work on this one. Listening to this, I was like, okay, I can, being more cognizant that Witcher's wrote the bulk of this album, I'm starting to hear the influences more, kind of the crossover there. Right into one of my favorite choruses that Warrel has done. So, yeah, it's so good. And then starting at 150, we get an instrumental section, which Witchers and Verbeuren kind of trade back and forth on a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a real fun interplay between them. And then this is the one that has James Murphy. His solo is really good. But I think the best thing about that solo is what Witchers is doing underneath it on the rhythm. It's a really well done song. I love this song. This is a really good one. Brother John.
Yeah, I mean, strong agree on all that. I think you said that it has a great chorus, but you didn't really say it. This is the one where they say, while the poor men die, the rich men sing monetary praises to the war machine. And that is just, it's great.
While the poor men die, the rich men sing monetary praises to the war machine.
I mean, the song is great and it has a message that makes me sad, but because it seems to be enduring in the existence of man, that this is just the reality of humanity. But Warrel Dane made a great song about that topic. So props to him.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love a song about class consciousness.
Mhm.
And you didn't say the second half of the chorus, which is the rats scream for change and equality while the mechanics of power stain humanity.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus.
yeah,
It's
fuck
such
the
a
people in power.
such
It's
a
so
well-written
direct,
line. Yeah.
but it's so, yeah, it's so well, it says exactly what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Professor
That-
Warrel Woke Dane just doing it again, trying to wake up the world.
And we've also got some more spoken word on here. The line that stood out to me was, first, you take a hypocrite and give him ultimate power.
Oof.
And yeah, musically, I think you called out everything that I wanted to call out. Even the Dirk Verbeuren fun double kick stuff going on at the 150-ish
Mm-hmm.
point. And that whole segment is introduced with a big bass drop, which you don't get many bass drops in metal. So that was fun. Love this song.
Well, track number 9, Brother Dave.
You were never there for me. Actually, you've always been there for me. I love you, bros.
Yes.
I'm glad I will never have to sing this song about you, because this is another one of those super personal songs that I believe is probably from Warrel Dane to his real life brother or half brother
It
or
absolutely
something.
is. Yes.
And just
And I think he wrote this when his brother was dying of cancer, right? But before
Correct.
his brother had died. So I wonder what their conversations were about this song after it came out. His brother's like, "Come on, man, what the fuck?"
it was,
It's like,
it was
"Hey, it's
another one of
true."
those Those
Truth
hurting
is an
words.
absolute defense
Yeah.
to to whatever you want to say. So
It's another one of
yeah.
those hurting words moments where he just
Yeah.
recorded the song and sent it to him, didn't actually have a conversation.
He sends this one, but then he's like, but check out this other song that I wrote, which is relevant. It's called The Hurting Words. So I'm sorry for what I just sent you in the song, brother. But it was true. So you should be sorry too. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I feel like reciting any of the lyrics is not going to do them any justice here, but they are all said with so much emotion and conviction. The solo just fits. The music just fits. This song is so good.
Yeah. I have in my notes that it's sad and haunting and painful and epic. And I just love it too. One thing though, Dave, I don't know if you have this in your notes, but I had at a minute 22, there's like a double scrape chug is how I described it in my notes on the guitar.
Was pure. My brother, you were never there for me.
Not totally sure what the technique would be, but if you can explain that, everyone will
didn't write
appreciate
it
it. But
down.
yeah,
That's-
I don't know if he just
22.
kind of like mutes the strings and like does a double chug on it or something, and maybe he's scraping the strings at the same time. Whatever he's doing right there, it sounded really cool to me.
Should I go listen to this right now while Brother Paul talks?
No, I mean, I had the exact same thing written down. I fucking love this song. Musically, it's the chugs that go into the chorus, right? It's a choo-choo, choo-choo, and brother. Like, yes, John is absolutely correct that it's like a palm muted chug of some type, and it's really, really, really good. The solo is great, but it's one of the best vocal performances from Warrel, and you can tell why because it's one of, if not the most personal song that he's written. One thing I noticed, so when we did the Obsidian Conspiracy, the Blue Marble and the New Soul has a lot of lines about family in there, and one of them is, "Oh, little one, your brother may stab you in the back and laugh."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then he says, "Your sister will love you unconditionally, as all love should be." So like,
And that shows up in this song too.
yes. So this was written, 2 years before, because that came out 2010. This was 2008. So like, he's still going through it, and it's showing up. Yeah, like lyrically, you have to listen to it because us reciting it has no meaning because I don't think we've ever really been estranged from each other ever.
Not from each other.
Yeah,
No.
certainly never estranged. We
Yeah.
just haven't seen each other much. But now that we do the pod, we get to see each other every week or thereabouts,
Yes.
and it's great.
So there is a video for this. So let's open up our segment. Video killed the solo artist star. And Jesus, he looks
Love it.
Yeah. He looks absolutely broken in this music video. It's him brooding in a chair, watching home movies, which possibly real home movies of himself.
Possibly, yeah.
And then it's him standing over the grave of his brother. And that's the
Yeah.
video. It is, like, how long is this song? It is 3.5 minutes of just watching a man be broken and bare his soul. It is simple
Yeah.
and effective.
Just like dripping with regret over the way that their relationship went in life and that it was just not a good relationship.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of sadness. And as I read, I don't know if you guys read much of the comments on the video, but I got choked up. Like I didn't quite cry, but tears were almost forming in my eyes as I read through the comments because there was just a lot of heartfelt tributes to and memories of Warrel Dane from the
Mhm.
people commenting. since he's obviously passed away several years ago, it's almost like people were using this to like lay flowers on his gravestone digitally and say, like, here's a memory that I have of meeting him at a show, or, here's how his music touched my life. And it was just, I thought, really cool, and, tugged on my heartstrings a lot. But I want to call out a couple comments that I read, and one of them was kind of funny from Godgory GR. So this comment was, one of the best singers ever, IMO. Such an expressive voice. He sings like a semi-crazy shaman yelling in the middle of a desert. Thank God for Nevermore. Hard agree, Godgory Gear. Hard agree. And then the other one is kind of talking a little bit about the lyrics, and I thought this was a pretty insightful comment. This was from the user Ludwig Alm, and they pointed out that the way he wrote some of the lines has like almost kind of a childish aspect to it in his choice of words. The line where he says, "If I could play God, do you know what I'd do?" It just adds like that little extra touch, like it's the younger brother looking up to and talking to his older brother. And I hadn't really noticed that of that particular line, but yeah, that does. It's like, do you know what I do? I'd swim to your blood and kill the cancer in you. I don't know, it just has, it kind of adds to that whole emotion in the song when you think of it in that perspective of the younger brother talking to his
there's an
older brother.
earnestness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could play God, you know what I'd do. I'd swim through your blood and kill the cancer in you.
Again, he's a truly amazing lyricist. And
Yeah.
that shines through in this song for sure.
Let us move on to track number 10, Patterns, which is a Paul Simon cover. Brother John.
All right. Well, after the emotional dirge that was the song Brother, they drop a zazzy little number on us to bring us back. And so we're not all crying and left in tears. And so I was pretty curious. I was like, oh, Paul Simon. So they're doing another cover. How does the original sound here? Because I had never really listened to any Paul Simon or Simon and Garfunkel. And so, their cover of Sound of Silence is interesting to hear that original. And then also just reading the lyrics, it's like, oh, these are some pretty dark lyrics for such a folksy kind of band. But it's kind of the same thing that's going on here, Paul Simon and his folk songs. So can confirm that is the same kind of deal. And Warrel Dane basically takes it and makes it heavy as fuck. So again, it's got some pretty metal lyrics, so it lends itself well to this metal version. But yeah, I think this is a great cover, thematically fitting to put on this album. Themes of the difficulty of navigating life and that sort of thing. But yeah, I thought it was great. Oh, last thing. There's even some wailing guitar leads in there starting around 308. And while the guitar is wailing, there's some subtle spoken word stuff going on too. And then it ends with some final spoken word stuff. So, leaning into that still on this album. Dave,
Yeah.
Talk to us. Or Paul.
If
Or
you've got
me.
something you
No.
want to say.
Just hearing the difference between this version and the original is just wild. But I wonder if he chose this song because it uses the word rat a lot.
I wondered too.
It's oh yeah, it's a good song, and the guitar really just comes screaming in at 308, and that's great, and just a great use of a solo at that point. Brother Dave.
Yeah, the guitars, the way that they have completely rewritten this song musically is great. The main riff is so much fun. It's real good Witcher's writing.
Oh, I should note this is this and Lucretia, my
Oh wait, yeah,
reflection,
this
were
one is
both
not Witcher's.
Matt Wickland. So
So it is not great Witcher's writing, but it is still great writing. And the original's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something. It's a short little ditty, and they've expanded it to over four, I think. And I think I agree the solo's great, the main riff is great, but it flags a little bit in the middle for me because there's not that much lyrical content.
mhm.
And the lyrics that there are already kind of repetitive, and then he repeats them. And at 148, he's already done the chorus where he talks about this pattern. And then he says, the path before me lies and the pattern never alters. The path before me lies and the pattern never alters. And the pattern still remains. And it feels like at this point, he's like, guys, there's a pattern and it isn't changing. And also, did I mention that it never alters? By the way, make sure I mentioned that there's an unchanging pattern. And it's like, why are we still talking about this?
Webster's dictionary defines pattern as
So other than this unnecessarily repetitive part in the middle, I really like this song.
oh, well. Track number 11, This Old Man. Brother Dave.
Oh, another ballad and another absolute banger. Just it's heartfelt. It hits hard. It's got some good riffing going on, but again, as a ballad, it's the lyrics and the delivery of those lyrics that are really stealing the show on this one. I mean, what do I want to even say about this? Musically, the harmonization of both the guitars in the solo-ish part at 224 are so good. Everything he does on vocals, so good. And the way it ends, where he just says, he just says, this old man, and it's like sad, regretful, and then it's over. There's a finality to this song because it's about the death of presumably his grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just another one of those ones that, like Brother, isn't worth telling you the lyrics because you just need to experience them for yourself, I think. Brother Paul?
This song is it's a triumph of storytelling. It is straightforward, but in under 4 minutes, he tells this whole story, and you learn so much, and it's deeply personal and heartfelt and vulnerable. And not only that, it's just that musically it holds up. The main riff that like plays after each verse is really fucking good. This song is a masterclass. I fucking love this song. It's so good. Brother John.
I agree with everything you said, and I don't think I have anything to add. It slaps. It slaps hard. That's all that I'll add. It's great.
Now, we had discussed opening lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics on this song, correct?
Well, that was my suggestion, I think, when I was thinking that this was written about his father, and I had a lot of unanswered questions I wanted to
Okay.
dive into. Once I discovered that it was about his grandfather, those questions basically went away.
Dissipate. Okay. Oh,
Because if it was his
check.
dad,
Same way
it
for
makes
me,
sense.
too.
That would have been very confusing, or it was very confusing, because it's like, wait a minute. So they buried the dad next to his bride, but you're
So
standing
this
there
was a
holding your
mixed,
mother's hand. So
yeah. So
like,
like
did he get
second,
divorced, but she still liked him and was sad about it? Like, what is happening? But it was probably her father, his grandfather,
Hmm.
and so it all made way more sense. I was like, okay, there's not some weird story, but yeah. So I needed to answer those questions,
Okay.
but they basically were answered. So you can cut this out of the final edit if you want.
No, I think we'll leave it. It's like just lyrically, it's a wonderful tribute. And again, he's in this song, he's like 5 years old, talking about his grandfather and just sitting, on his knee and just it's a beautiful tribute and it tells there's a whole arc in there and you learn so much in just under 4 minutes. And then it ends, yeah, on this just wistful, sad, regretful note that is entirely earned and earnest, and it
mhm.
works beautifully.
And I think it also speaks to the degree to which the stuff adults do affects children, right?
Hmm.
Like he's a 5-year-old kid when the song happens, but he's a 55-year-old man when he writes this song about it, and it's left such a huge impression on him. And you got to think that this informs how he's writing lyrics throughout his career.
Hmm. Yeah.
This sort of under, because like he's coming to realize as he grows up the stuff that he experienced and took in from the adults around him as a child. And that's kind of what this song's about too.
Yeah.
Not just what happened, but now he gets it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful point. Absolutely agree. And let's move on to the final track, final standard track, track number 12, Equilibrium. Brother John.
So this is the one I have in my notes where Dirk finally drops some double kick on us at 26 seconds. And this song, I like this song a lot. It just finishes the album strong with sort of a pretty brutal, like heavy hitter, kind of the most metal drumming on the album. And he saved the best for last. At a minute 30, he hits us with another brutal part with some cool double kick stuff.
Why do we live within this season of weather? Why does
At 221, it has sort of an abrupt about face to a softer vibe. And then it gets into that echoey effect on the solo again. It's got kind of like bright and shiny vibes to it, where the song previously was a bit brutal and heavy, but it ends strong, getting back into those heavier riffs. So it's got some dynamic flows to it. I just like this song a lot. I think it's a great way to close out the album.
Totally agree. And I need to correct myself. He's probably not quite 50 when he wrote this song, this album, but the point still stands.
Nope, your point's disregarded now because he wasn't
Children
55.
don't matter. They don't learn things.
No.
I lied. uh, yeah, it's a good ender. We've had so many bangers that I feel like this one doesn't actually stand out to me too much on this album. But whenever I get to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this song exists and this song rocks. There's more great lines. I can't believe there's nothing more to this senseless world. Please take it all away. And that's kind of a recurring theme with Mr. Dane. Like he seems to absolutely not believe in established religion, but he's definitely looking for greater meaning,
Hmm.
and frustrated with life as it is. I live in a sick world without balance or sense of reality. I mean, he's hammering that same drum he's always been hammering, and it's a drum that needs to be hammered. Uh, Musically, this song rocks, and I love it.
Yeah, this is I wrote that it feels frantic. And I think that's probably in part due
Mhm.
to the drumming. And yeah, it's there's a good solo on this one. Ultimately, it's not the most captivating song on the album, which is a bit of a disappointment because I looking at the lyrics, I'm like, oh, these lyrics are classic Dane. I feel they get maybe a bit lost in the song somehow.
Mhm.
It's still good. It's still a good song, but not the most captivating one. It's hard to follow up some of just
Yeah. Coming out of this old man, like, are you gonna top that?
yeah, it's
It's the Obsidian conspiracy all over again.
oh boy, he has written himself into a corner. He reaches such heights and then can't reach the next one.
Yep.
Uh, well, there is a bonus track on here. Everything is fading, track number 13. Brother Dave, quick thought on that.
I'm glad it didn't make it onto the album. It's heavier, it's driving, it's got a decent solo, but it doesn't flow as well as most of the other songs. The vocal phrasing and rhyme schemes, they're not as gripping, and it gets repetitive about two-thirds of the way through. Maybe they could have polished it up and turned it into something on par with the rest of the album, but they ultimately didn't, and I'm glad it wasn't there in its current form. Brother John?
Well, that is probably pretty much my thought. I did listen to this one a few days ago and took like a note, but then I was going to come back to it this weekend and I just got carried away with other things. Actually, like I mentioned last time, the last time we went and saw Kesha, I had that story of that guy who I thought wanted to fight me, but I guess he wanted to be
A little
my
bit
best
of
friend in a romantic way. And but so we saw Kesha last night and nothing weird happened, but it was one of, if not the best show that I've ever been to. It was incredible. Like great stage production, great performance, great songs. It was full of emotion. It was awesome. But this song, I don't know if it had any of those qualities. So, my only note was that at 3:04, it has a pounding drum beat that builds it up, and then they drop a stanky, groovy riff on us that really just slaps. So I did like that.
Emptiness, nothingness, uselessness. Everything is fading, nothing left to follow.
And I'd say you'd have to hear it to believe this thing. And while that's going on, he's doing some spoken word over it too. Another layer of vocal lies was being talked to us. So I don't know. I think this song maybe had some stuff to offer, but it didn't. I have no recollection what it even sounded like because I think I only listened to it once. So I thought it was fine, but could take it or leave it.
yeah, I mean,
And I had a lot of fun at the concert, so that's why I didn't listen to it more. So I can't tell you the details. Paul, bring us home.
similar thoughts. It's not bad musically. It doesn't really fit on the album. Yeah, maybe if they had worked on it, they could have gotten it to sound like it belonged, but it didn't. Maybe it could have been used on a future solo album. Not terrible, but yeah, didn't fit. So with that, let's kick it over to our resident rankings expert, Brother John.
All right, well, everybody, our final segment is Bop or Flop, where we decide, does the album slap or is it crap? We have honed our patented 6-tier ranking system, going from 6 all the way down to 1. We have the Bops, a perfect 6, unassailable. This is metal incarnate. A 5, like to stand on that thing. A banger we could easily listen to again and again. A 4, or that's doable. Solid album, worth checking out. And of course, there are the flops. A 3, it lacks zazz. A 2 is straight crap, and a 1 belongs in a garbage can. Well, boys, this one, man, from start to finish, I don't think there was no song on this one that I disliked. Every single song was solid or affirmatively awesome. But yeah, there's just a lot of great stuff, a lot to love on this one, a lot of heartfelt emotion. Like I said, reading the comments too on the video for Brother kind of got me choked up. And now every time I listen to that song, it just kind of brings up even more than what the song already had there. So yeah, this was an emotional one, a great one. I gotta say, I would like to stand on that thing. I'd like to really stand on that thing. I'm gonna give this a 5.5.
Real nice. Yeah, similar thoughts as you. I think Warrel Dane nailed it with this album. And, I also haven't been shy about liking Peter Witcher's writing. He was my favorite part of early Soilwork, though they did eventually find their legs without him. As a producer here, he knew the assignment. It was like he supported Warrel Dane in expressing himself, showing off his incredible vocal depth, and bringing all that emotion out. He has great writing that doesn't overshadow that. Uh, it's a little more mid-tempo than I typically go for, but I'll go there for Warrel Dane. I love this guy, and his vocals are just so good. Uh, Solid 5.5. I would love to stand on that thing.
Yes, I wholeheartedly would like to stand on that thing. This is a great solo album, and I think it exemplifies like what a great solo album does. It plays to his strengths. It really lets him showcase his vocal ability and allows him to explore just some really personal topics. Musically, it's distinct enough, like from Nevermore, that it's his own thing. It's not just, well, here's Nevermore Light. It feels very much its own thing. It's a wonderful solo album, so 5.5. Well, Voyagers, that's all for this week. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will discuss Jeff Loomis's 2008 solo album, Zero Order Phase. Until then, may the metal be with you.
And also,
with
with you.
you.